This clip contains highlights from a talk about upcoming Chinese language classes. The classes start in late April 2009 and will be held in Melbourne CBD. The speaker is Sarah Yue, founder of the Melbourne Chinese Language and Culture Group. To sign up, visit meetup.com, then go to the page for the Melbourne Chinese Language and Culture Group. Alternatively, you can just Google meetup.com/Melbourne/Chinese.
We have long promised running these classes for our members because we are members, of course. One of the reasons you join us is not just to learn the culture, it's to the language as well, to learn more about Mandarin. So we are going to run it as a beginners, intermediate, and advanced levels. We want to make it a more interesting learning experience. A lot of our members have been to other classes, like Dave has, and you have, and Andrew probably has as well. And they just found that you sit 1 or 2 hours in a classroom, and at the end of a class, that's it, you forgot. And next time you see the teacher again, you probably have 15 minutes time practicing it. I think that's about it, and you just give back 80% of what you learned, and that's what I heard. So we want to change the way of teaching Mandarin a bit this time. So I'd like to hear your feedback as well as how to run it better, to make it more interesting, have more fun, to remember more, to have a chance to interact with other native speakers. Yeah, like Amy and I. So doesn't matter what level we're going to start with. We're going to mix it with travel, depending on your need at that time, or your goal of learning it. With a lot of traveling, so what's required when you travel, about business, if you need to do business with China, to learn about the cultural sensitivity, how to negotiate, how to close a deal, and to learn more about culture things, like the philosophies, etiquette, how not to offend someone, like we'll probably all learn how to hand out a business card, how to receive it. Just the basic things. Doesn't matter which level you are, you're probably just not aware of. So we'll cover a lot of that. So there will be 1 hour session in the class with the teacher. And I thought it would be a great idea that we can add some real life, exchange. Like now we're traveling in China, in Yunnan or Guilin or Hong Kong. What the scenarios are, how we're going to practice in real life. Or if you were to business with a Chinese party now, a Chinese company, how are you going to do the business deal? How do you to greet other people? So I want to make it more real, especially probably Andrew will do more business side of things on the investments, finance companies. Yeah, so we want to make it more helpful, more useful, as opposed to the traditional way of teaching. You just learn the pinyin, you go home, you know how to say, I'm good, I'm from Australia, or I'm from Scotland. Scotland is a beautiful country. And forgot all the rest of it. So that's our thinking, my thinking, and I'd love to hear your suggestions. We went to karaoke a couple of times. Some members mentioned that they learn Mandarin by singing. So because one of the members, he loves singing, he's got a beautiful voice. How he learns it, or force him to learn, is he was born here, but he's Chinese, probably like Andrew. He gets up in the morning, he listens to songs, he will see words he doesn't know, he'll write the pinyin, he'll find out what the words mean and how to pronounce it, and he'll sing the songs. So he has a bit of fun, he learned Mandarin, and he can speak quite fluently now, literally quite fluent. He's only been in China a year, I think he worked or studied there, so it's brilliant. So that's one way of stimulating our learning. I'm sure you will have your own ways of enjoying doing it, or listening to tapes, or reading, or whatever you can link that with to make it more fun. And so that's the flexible time, the half an hour. We'll have some native speakers come in to help out as well. So every person gets a quality time to practice whatever that your need is. So there are different features from the traditional way of learning Mandarin. There will be, it's a flexible, as we said, different learning methods, and I'll check that with our technical support Matt here about broadcast. My goal is to be able to record it and our session, say today we're doing an intermediate lesson. So there are another 5 students who cannot be here for whatever reason, for work or for travel, or they miss this class, so they don't need to worry about it, or they need to travel overseas. We'll put it on our website, and you can go back to review it for free if you paid for the class already. For people who just cannot be here, our assistant organizer, Bruce, he lives like 1.5 hours away on Warrandyte. There's no way he's going to travel 1 hour on this, peak hour to be here. So he will be just doing that at home by himself, so he can pay a different fee structure to learn it at home if you prefer. But I've asked a member about that before. Some people just don't like it. It's not personal. Language is a lot of a personal communication, I think. And you can pick up something right away if you see someone, face to face. Yeah, so they have the options. So yeah, and to help and improve whatever that you are aiming at improving, speaking or traveling or business or culture side of things, we'll have our meetup group there to support us. So we've got 3 new assistant organizers now this year. You notice we've got the Chinese Facebook there. We're going to do a lot of more meetups. So instead of meeting just once a month like we did before, we'll try to get it down like once every 2 weeks. We'll invite speakers to come to speak to our members. We do picnics in the park. So a lot more activities where members can, make more friends, practice the language, learn more about the culture, the philosophy, or the kung fu, whatever that you are into. Yeah, you like to know, yeah? So that's the features or different structures we are aiming at doing. And I was thinking we've got a supporting teacher as well. Helen, she's got a lot of teaching experiences here, teaching Mandarin. So that I need to discuss with them about, I want to give our students sessions of individual time with teachers. So you can either arrange to meet with me, or we can arrange a time to talk on the phone or Skype, whatever that's convenient for both parties. At least 20 minutes for each student individually. You might have your own questions you want to ask. Certain things you like to practice might be different from each other. So I want to give that quality time. Each student will be coached or taught differently. That meets your own need as well.
20 minutes per week?
No, 20 minutes. So our class goes for 10 sessions. That is 1 session per week. That's a 1 hour class, half an hour interaction. On top of that, I like to add this free 20 minutes, depending on the other 2 teachers. I'm pretty confident we have a lot of members who are willing, native speakers who are willing to help. So I'll send an email, we'll schedule this, so you might not speak with me this time for 20 minutes. Make sure we have that done at least once a week or once every 2 weeks, depending on your time and the teacher's time or other members' time. Or Andrew might speak with Amy, or meet with Amy, depending on where you work and where you socialize or you do sports, whatever that is you love to do. So we have that at least 3 sessions, 20 minutes, yeah? So that makes sure you're not be left behind, or you missed or you're sick or something. You're not thinking, oh, this is hard. I'm not coming to the next class. What happened to my friends? He went to half of the class, he missed 1, and he found it very hard to catch up. So we want to make sure everyone is, so it's an enjoyable thing, yeah. So everyone actually learns something in the end, as well as having fun and making friends. So that's the goal of doing this class as part of the Chinese Culture Meetup group. Sounds cool? Excellent. We have a lot of good members. You two haven't, Andrew has met some. Dave and Sheena haven't met. They're very nice people. I'm so lucky. We've got more than 200 members now in the group. A lot of them mixed, you guys interested in Chinese